Welcome back, everyone. My name's Jose Bouquet, and alongside me, of course, is the Jose Bautista to my Edwin Encarnacion. It's Andrew Santangelo. What's going on, buddy?
Nothing much. Nothing much. How you doing?
I'm doing well, and welcome everyone to the Pub Sports Radio show live at Southtown 101 in San Antonio, Texas. Andrew, we're back again for another classic baseball rewatch. And this time, Andrew, we chose a game near and dear to some people around us' hearts.
Yeah, one of my good friends from Oklahoma State. Sam. He and the champion of the trivia game. But
Yeah,
unfortunately, he
dominated
had
you.
what was it?
Dominated you. Gave you a whooping.
I had a lead going into that last round. You just I had a bad last round.
That's
Let's
what they
not
all
forget
say.
that.
That's what they all say, Andrew. But yes, the 2015 ALDS Game 5, a.k.a. the Jose Bautista bat flip game. A lot of mixed emotions for people. I'll tell you that. A lot of mixed emotions. Andrew, as always, I feel like I ask you this, especially for these recent games. Where were you during this game?
I was at Oklahoma State watching it in my lounge.
You said this was our freshman year, so we were both at Oklahoma State, actually.
It was. This might have been before we met.
I think so, actually. Yes, this probably was. I don't remember, to be honest, where I was for this game, but it was a hell of a game to watch. We both didn't remember the score going into it, which makes these rewatch even more fun. Uh, and a lot of things surprised me in this game, especially seeing Marcus Stroman out there pitching a pivotal game. Your boy Cole Hamels out there, fresh off the trade from the Phillies. It was kind of weird, but it was fun to watch. Andrew, what did you think about this game?
Yeah, I think it's one for the ages, but I think that the bat flip definitely escalates it. It's also not only is it one of the better games to watch, but it's also one of the weirdest games to watch. Just because we'll get into it, but how the whole back half of the game plays out and the whole emotions of this game. Just from I can't imagine being a Rangers fan or a Blue Jays fan in this situation because both emotions are just changing like very quickly.
Yeah, this game definitely has peaks and valleys. You know, it drops off in some innings. It kind of gets dull when Cole Hamels and Stroman start dealing and start throwing their dirty pitches and getting people out. But it was definitely a fun game and made me miss, like, oddly enough, being a Red Sox fan, it made me miss when the Blue Jays had this team of just home run, just devourers. Edwin Encarnacion hitting 40 home runs, Jose Bautista hitting 40 home runs. This was Josh Donaldson's MVP year. He hit 40 home runs. They literally took the juice balls before juice balls were here, and they just started destroying balls.
Yeah, and it's kind of the way the game's going. I feel like is you're getting all these teams like you had the Astros the last couple of years, and it just seems the way the game's going. And this seems to be like one of the first teams that really kind of stacked up their team like that. And it's funny because they got a good leadoff hitter this year in Ben Revere, and he was able to get on. And then a lot is he batted over 300, and then they're able to just hit the home runs to get a guy like that in. It's like their leadoff hitter gets no home runs, but then we have all the power the rest of the way. It's just a good way to build that team.
Who did they get the leadoff hitter from, Andrew?
They got him from the Phillies.
Oh, who is that? Who's that leadoff hitter for them?
What was that?
Who is their leadoff hitter, Andrew?
Ben Revere. Not well known, but I was always a Ben Revere fan.
I like Ben Revere too. Um, this was this year a little weird year in baseball. 2014 coming off another Mike Trout year, firmly establishing himself as a very very good baseball player. Josh Donaldson takes an MVP from him. We talked about this before the show, Andrew. We both kind of think that this was one of the many Mike Trout MVPs that have been stolen from him.
Trout got robbed.
I shared with you Mike Trout, 9.6 WAR, second in the majors, only behind Bryce Harper, who won the NL MVP at 9.7. Josh Donaldson's WAR, 7.1. Not even the second highest in the MVP total because Manny Machado was fourth that year and got a 7.5 WAR. So pretty wild there to see the gulf in WAR. I suspect this was definitely some Mike Trout fatigue.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it happens in a lot of leagues. I feel like is the awards never. Yeah, it kind of gets caught in the moment and goes to the hot name at the end of the season or something like that. And I think sometimes they try to spread it out, give it to other people more than actually who deserves it and who's actually quote unquote the most valuable actual player. And I think if you were to take Trout away from the Angels and Donaldson away from the Blue Jays, I think you'd see a bigger dive in the Angels team than the Blue Jays. Kind of like how LeBron gets robbed every year.
Yeah, yeah, I would say so. It's pretty impressive to see that 2014 Mike MVP, 2015 he finishes in second, 16 more of the same, and it's 2020 and it's still more of the same for Mike Trout. Just want to leave that note in there. Maybe one day Mike Trout will play in an important game and that we can actually like break down.
It could have been this year if we actually played the way they built that. I mean, they need pitching, but the way they built that offense, you'd think they'd at least come close.
Would have been nice if they signed Garrett Cole this offseason. But it doesn't matter because there's no baseball this year, so who cares, right?
That's right. That's why we get to do these fun games.
Exactly. All right, let's talk about some of the roster construction of this team. This was the last peak year for Jose Bautista, and this was the last peak year for Prince Fielder as well, Andrew.
Yeah, two big names that kind of had good, great careers. Batista kind of moved around the diamond a little bit, starting at third. I think he started his career at right.
I think so, yeah, and now he's trying to pitch for the Dominican national team in the Olympics whenever those become. By the
Yeah.
way,
So the multi-tool Jose Batista. I was always a big fan of his. I always liked the way he played, and so I was kind of. I think you mentioned it before. I mean, the bat flip kind of took everything else out of him for the rest of his career.
yes, and another event, which we will talk about in this podcast radio show later on. Another notorious event involving Jose Bautista. But this is also Josh Hamilton's last year, basically last year of being a baseball player. Looked wild on the field with his goatee action. They ran a promo. I'll probably bring it up again. They ran a promo during the game, and they had Josh Hamilton coming up to the plate, and he had like the young Josh Hamilton with no facial hair. And then you come back from the commercial break, you see old ass Josh Hamilton with a wild goatee up there.
Yeah, and he had a storied career too. I mean,
Yeah,
his up and downs, so everything. But no, yeah,
good book.
his facial from the rookie season to the end was pretty funny.
Yeah, and his swing. I enjoyed every single Josh Hamilton at bat because I enjoy watching him swing a bat because it is wild to see. Like his
Well,
bat path and just like the power he had. Whew.
his MVP season in 2010, that was insane. I don't know if you remember that year.
You know what, Andrew? You know what we should do? We should do one of these for a home run derby, and we should do Josh Hamilton's home run derby or Bobby Abreu's because that's also near and dear to my heart.
Yeah, that Bobby Bray one. They're both fantastic. But, Bobby Bray being the Philly, just escalates that one.
Was
I
he a
actually have a
Philly?
picture.
Was
I
he
actually
a
have a
Philly that
picture
day?
of Bobby Bray home run derby in my room.
Oh, so he was a Philly that day? I
He
don't
was.
I don't remember him as a Philly. I just remember that as being like, whoa, dude, there's a Venezuelan dude just kicking ass. That's all I remember. Bobby Abreu was my guy.
Yeah, I think that might have been the year we traded him or the year before we traded him.
Dicks. All right, let's talk about the ALDS. Let's see how we got here. So like we said, we're at a pivotal game 5. They mentioned at the top of the broadcast, no home team has won a game yet. That is because game 1 in the Rogers Center, Rangers win 5-3. I watched the highlights, and the first thing you see in the highlights is them unveil their AL East championship banner, and everyone freaking out. And I shook my head because the Red Sox hang those up without a peep. You just see it on the walkway by former Yawkey Way, and you'll see it there, and you're like, oh, there's another one. The Blue Jays had like a whole unveiling for it, and I was like, God, I'm gonna vomit.
Hey, you guys win every year. You can give them one.
Thanks. So big moment in this game came. Adrian Beltre hurts his back during this game. Hurts his back swinging and just like absolutely looks immobile. Can't move, can't run. But he tries to stay in the game, which was the wild part. He gets a hit with his hurt back, like hobbles, wobbles to first base, and then they hit a ground ball, and he can barely make it halfway down the line. And he's trying to fight to stay in the game, but all of his teammates talk him out of it. And I was like, damn, Adrian Beltre was a freaking badass. He was so good.
He's a legend. He's a lock for the Hall of Fame, and when whatever how many 5 years they gotta wait. But no, he's a guy that's definitely gonna be missed in the game, and it's from the way he played and just leadership as well. And he was a hilarious guy too, as we all know when he moved the on deck circle and got ejected.
Yes, love that. Love that. So the Rangers end up winning this game 5-3. Josh Donaldson also gets hurt in this game, takes a knee from Rougned Odor. Comes back next game, though, just fine. By the way, David Price starts that game for the Blue Jays and gives up 4 earned runs. And Jose Bautista does homer in that game. Moving on to game 2, Rangers win again 6-4, final in 14 innings. So the Rangers take a 2-0 lead in this series, which I'm sure Rangers fans will love to be reminded of. Uh, that's really tough for them. Mike Napoli ties the game with a pinch hit, game tying RBI in the 8th. Donaldson plays and hits a home run. This is Marcus Stroman's first postseason start, by the way. I believe he's 21 at this time. So that's pretty good. And by the way, the bench is cleared in the bottom of the 13th because Josh Donaldson thought he hit a home run, but it was foul. So there's their first sprinkle of tension into this series.
Yeah, I mean, this is when I thought you win 2 games, you win this 14 inning game, and you'd think the losing team that goes down 0-2, you were kind of maybe steal one, but yeah, you thought they were just going to fold, and I thought the Rangers had it.
Super tough here because guess what, Andrew? This is the last Rangers playoff win against the Blue Jays. The Blue Jays have now ripped off 6 straight playoff victories, including a sweep the next year in 2016 of the Rangers. Game 3, Blue Jays win 5-1. Marco Estrada pitches very, very well. Martin Perez, shout out to the Red Sox, gets the loss. This was Troy Tulowitzki's only good game, really, of the playoffs. Hits a 3-run home run and gets a walk RBI. Gets the 4 RBIs in the game. So shout out to Troy Tulowitzki for, I guess, winning in this game. And then the most boring game of the series, game 4, Derek Holland gives up many home runs. R.A. Dickey makes his first and only, I don't know if it's only, his first postseason start. Deals, throws 5 innings, 1 earned run, and then David Price, for some reason, comes in. A 7-1 lead. Gives up a couple runs, but they win 8-4, which locked in Marcus Stroman as the Game 5 starter. I'll start our conversation about Game 5 there. Were you surprised to see David Price not get the Game 5 start?
No, I wasn't. Just because I'll go to the graphic they displayed in the beginning of the game. Oh wait, never mind. Sorry, I got my teams mixed up. I was surprised that David Price got the didn't get the start, just because I know he struggled, but he's the veteran there in that situation. Stroman, like you said, is 21, only made 1 postseason start, and it was in game 2. So you thought they'd go back to Price, but I guess using Price in game 4 kind of took that away from him, and even with him giving up 3 runs, it just scared him.
Yeah, it was tough. I was like, man, I guess this is the start of the postseason Price stuff that Red Sox fans crushed him for and all this stuff. He didn't really pitch well in this relief appearance. Like I said, they had a 7-1 lead, so it's kind of hard to blow that. But doesn't pitch well. And Marcus Stroman, like I said, after his first postseason start, who didn't pitch well, gets the start against your man, Cole Hamels. Now, I talked about this off air, Andrew, but I would love for you to enlighten the people. How did Cole Hamels get on from your Phillies to the Rangers this year? What happened?
Well, after we missed the postseason in 12, 13, 14, and we're on the way to missing it this year, we gave him up to the Rangers for about 6 guys: Matt Harrison, Jorge Alfaro.
I guess Alfaro is probably the most notable of those, right?
right now because he ended up being moved to the Marlins and gave us JT Realmuto, the best catcher in baseball. So I
Hmm.
thank him for that.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, and then I think Nick Williams and Jake Thompson I think grounded out that trade, and Nick Williams is the only guy left on the Phillies, but he'll probably if we do start up, he'll start in the minors probably.
I do believe you have a Nick Williams jersey, right?
I do not.
Oh, I thought you did.
I don't.
Oh, well,
I
shit.
have.
We have many jersey bets, so I thought I already
Are you
got.
you're thinking of Reese Hoskins?
Oh my, yeah. Well,
That,
shout out to Reese.
that Reese Hoskins is the one you got me.
So before the game starts, they put up a graphic of Cole Hamels' game clinching starts, and they juxtapose it between Stroman's youth. So Hamels has pitched in 4 clinching games in the 2008 NLCS and World Series, the 2009 NLCS, and 2010 NLDS. In those games, he's 2-0 with a 2.05 ERA, and he's won every one of those games. So everything is pointing Rangers is basically what we're trying to say here. They have a
Yes,
2-0 lead. They have the pitcher. The only thing they don't have is home field advantage. But the Rangers, this is really bad. This is a really bad choke by them.
absolutely. This is probably one of the worst choked games in the history of sports, honestly. And I mean, we'll dive into it more in a little bit, so I won't go too much. But I mean, just the way it plays out and everything, and like you said, that everything was on their side from pitcher to momentum. And I mean, you mentioned the home field, but to this game, the home team was 0-4. So
Yeah, exactly. So they had it. They had it. Andrew, quickly, is this just take away, I guess, the stake of the game? Is this choke worse, or is this or is David Freese, Nelson Cruz, is that worse?
if you take away the stake of the game, I'd say this game is worse.
Yes, because obviously doing it in the World Series is huge, but
Yeah,
man,
not that one strike away.
yeah, oh god. Oh man, I'll never forget that. That was hilarious. But all right, let's get into
Sorry,
it.
Sam.
Sorry, Sam. Sam, man. Now forever feel bad for Sam. This is a curse on the Rangers organization that I'm just decided. Their managers are always cursed. But it's tough. So let's get into it. Top of the first. Starts off well for the Rangers, you know? Beltre's back in the lineup, they announced, after coming back in game 4. It looks good, you know. Delano DeShields looks like a running back, as they said. Looks huge. Doubles off the wall. Sinsu Chusak, and then Prince Fielder hits a little like worm burner, as they say. And Delano DeShields scores from third after good base running and a quick 1-0 lead for Los Rangers.
Yeah, I mean, it can't ask for a better start. You get a run in 3 hitters, and like you said, start with a double, and with who you have on the mound compared to the Blue Jays. Again, you're looking fantastic. You're a great start.
Yeah, exactly. Beltre comes up and he shows that he can move a little bit. Beats out a double play fielder's choice thing there. But this is when I first watched this, I was like, Stroman comes in, giving up a run. All right, let's see if he can do it. And I was concerned. I was concerned going forward. Hamels with the Rangers this year, they show 7-1, 3.66 ERA. In game 2, he pitched 6 hits, 4 earned runs, 6 Ks. Dominates the first inning. Ben Revere 3-1, strikeout to the MVP Donaldson, and an easy fly out to Jose Bautista gets the Blue Jays in order. Pretty
Yeah,
impressive.
and I mean, again, that's just exactly the way you wanted to start for the Rangers, and that's what you'd expect from a guy like Cole Hamels, who is dominant in these type of games. And I mean, he made that inning look fairly easy.
Very, very easy. But shit would not be as sweet in inning 2, Andrew. Let me tell you. Josh Hamilton comes up for Los Rangers. A walk, a really fun at bat. I thought for sure, like I said, he was washed up, gets a walk. Elvis Andrews, bunt, gets caught. Rudy Odor gets a single. But he gets out with no damage after Russell Martin catches Elvis Andrews stealing third out of the inning, no damage. Were you impressed? I guess this is peak Russell Martin. I didn't know he was as good as a defensive catcher. I was surprised that he got Elvis Andrews there.
Yeah, for a guy that kind of bounced around and did many different things, it definitely was one of his most expected things. And I mean, he was always a name that was strong, and his defense was just another aspect of his game. But I think he was usually more known for his offense. So it was surprising. And then it also did surprise me about the replay there as well.
Oh yeah, why don't you elaborate? Why are you surprised at the detail at the replay? It shook you when you thought these
I just
men using
I
technology.
didn't realize how old a replay was. I thought it was like the last. I don't know. I just thought it was like the last 3 years. I didn't realize it goes back all the way to 2015.
Did you look up
Yeah,
when replay started in
I
baseball?
didn't. I should have, but I did not.
Well, that's good. Go ahead and tell the people what happened with the Blue Jays in inning 2, and I'll tell you when replay started.
All right, in the second inning with the Blue Jays, Hamels actually doesn't look as sharp, and he struggles with walking off the leadoff guy, Edwin Encarnacion, and then followed by a single from Chris Colabello on the first pitch. So a nice start to the inning for the Blue Jays, and trying to get something going. But after those two leadoff runners, Hamels kind of got back to where he was at after Troy Tulowitzki actually battled him for 8 pitches, worked a full count. But then Hamels, what?
Good at bat.
It was fantastic, I bet. He really worked him, made Hamels show off a lot of his different pitches, and then eventually Hamels won the battle, striking out Troy, getting the first out of the inning. And then it's funny, after that 8 pitch at bat, don't have to worry about the pitch count too much, as Russell Martin chases the first pitch and gets the second out of the inning by just a weak fly ball to right field. But was deep enough for Edwin to move to third, so he had first and third, 2 out. Still good position for the Blue Jays to try to battle in a run to tie the game. But ultimately, Hamels comes back and wins the battle off a 0-2 count. Struck out Kevin Pillar.
Yeah, Kevin Pillar, Red Sox now. By the way, Andrew, you have a guess. Give me a guess. When do you think instant replay started?
I'm going to add 2 years. So I'll say 13.
In fact, it is 2013 is correct. 2013, they started the instant replay. That's when they started challenges. Instant replay as a whole was introduced in 2008, which feels like
2008.
Not a long time ago for replay just to begin.
Wow.
Yeah, I know, right? All right, moving on to
that makes you feel old.
I know, right? We're very old now, Andrew. We're all washed up. Moving on to the fourth inning. This is the beginning of the quiet strings of innings. It's a 1-0 ball. Actually, no, it's 2-0 at this point. Actually, did we already talk about the third inning?
No, let's say we're just gonna skip the third.
Oh, okay. Well, never mind. Let's go to the third inning. My bad. Here we go. All right, third inning. Delano DeShields comes up 5-3, and then Sin-Soo Choo. Who would have thought? Sin-Soo Choo comes up, home run, 2-0 Rangers. Feeling great now. 2-run lead. You're like, okay,
absolutely.
All right, starting to get it chunking. 2-run lead, especially from Sin-Soo Choo. Not traditionally a home run hitter. He will play another pivotal role with his hand and bat later on in the game, but I was pleasantly surprised to see this. After another single from Adrian Beltre, Mitch Moreland flies out for the third out of the half inning. Gets out there, 2-0 lead. The Blue Jays go down pretty quietly. They have the bases loaded. Actually, just kidding. I've got my innings all mixed up. I'm looking at the fourth inning. I'm looking at the fourth inning instead of the third. All right. So the Blue Jays come up in the third inning. Ryan Goins strikes out. Your man Ben Revere gets a single and eventually comes around to score after Jose Bautista gets a double. It is 2-1 now, those Rangers. I was pleasantly surprised to see Jose Bautista featured earlier in this game because you could tell he was kind of on the ball. He was hitting balls hard the whole day.
Yeah, I think the big thing just through the 3 innings you saw what the Blue Jays kind of game plan was, knowing how good Hamels was. I think they really tried to battle and take as many pitches as possible and have Hamels really work to the ability of raising his pitch count, trying to get him out of the game early. And I think that's what you saw there. You saw a lot of good at bats that inning too. He had a 7-pitch at bat to lead off the inning. Then Donaldson had 5, and then another 7 pitch at bat to end the inning there from Chris Cabello. And I think that was the ultimate goal there by the Blue Jays, and it just worked out in their favor.
Yeah, they started to wear down Hamill slowly. That pitch count got up. And again, this was definitely before the days of not letting your starting pitcher go 3 times around the order, because both guys definitely went up in there in pitch counts. Andrew, please tell us what happened in the 4th inning.
So the 4th inning was one of the more boring innings of the game. You had 1-2-3 by Marcus Stroman, led off by Josh Hamilton, who he actually worked Stroman just like they were working Hamels. He battled through an 8 pitch at bat, but ultimately flew out to center field. Followed by Elvis Andres with a ground out to short. And then Odor came up to end the inning and grounded out to second, rolled one over there, and then turned over to the Blue Jays in the bottom half of the 4th inning with Troy Tulowitzki leading off, but ultimately couldn't do anything and ground out to Hamels to start the inning, and then followed by Russell Martin, flew out to right. And then Kevin Pillar again came up but struck out as Hamels won another battle with Pillar.
The 4th inning is low key one of my favorite innings, Andrew, and here's why.
Really?
Even though it's one of the more boring innings. Pillar makes the defensive play of the game, I think, in a game with a couple of them. The diving play on Josh Hamilton to rob him of a hit. Loved Pillar's effort there, and I love Hamilton at bats. So there's one thing. And go ahead.
Yeah, and that's the thing, Pillar. I think I love him for his defense a lot more than his bat. I think that's the way he made his career. I think Donaldson's bare hand in the 2nd inning gives that play a good run for its money, though.
It does. And then Russell Martin comes up, hits that fly ball, and immediately just yells, "Fuck!" just as loud as he can, and runs up the baseline, which was hilarious. I got a good chuckle out of that. And they also had a trivia this inning. Andrew, did you happen to see the trivia?
I actually did not.
Oh, good. How exciting. Andrew, who is the youngest pitcher to ever win a postseason clinching game?
Postseason clinching game. In the history of baseball?
In the history of baseball. I don't expect you to get this, so it's okay.
I do not know that one.
Fernando Valenzuela with the Dodgers at 20 years old. There's your trivia of the game, man.
What year was that?
Did not write down the year.
Okay.
I'm not a years guy, Andrew. I'm a names guy. You know, I need to know when the year when it happened. He's like, oh yeah, it's Fernando. He did it. All right. Yeah, exactly. 5th inning, silence again. 5-4. There was an error from Troy Tulowitzki, but Stroman settles in, strikes out Chu, strikes out Fielder, gets out of there unscathed. And like I said, on the other half, also pretty boring. Blue Jays strikeout from Ryan Gomes. Ben Revere tries to bunt, but Adrian Beltre makes a very nice play, a very underrated play, especially with his back, to get him out at first. And then Josh Thompson again loses another battle to Hamels, flies out to right field.
Yeah, and then the 6th inning, just continued dominance by the pitching. Nothing much going here. Beltre strikes out. Moreland follows with a ground out to short. He did get a hit. Hamilton got a double off Stroman to try to get something going for the Rangers, but ultimately, Stroman continued his dominance following that with the ground out to second, and the end of the inning from Elvis. So, I think Stroman really started to take over the game from this point.
Yeah, this was when this was his like growing up moment, because they mentioned he tore his ACL in March, and he told his manager John Gibbons that he'd be back in September, and here he is dominating.
Yeah, and then finally get something going from the Blue Jays again, and after a Bautista pop fly to the short, nice start there by Hamels, but ultimately made a big mistake pitch to the very next pitch though to Edwin Encarnacion. We talked about the power from this Blue Jays lineup, and he hit one deep left field, left center.
Yeah, Edwin, no doubt home run, first of his career, first postseason one of his career. destroys the ball, absolutely destroys it, murders it dead, 2-2 in a very loud way, and begins the raucous Blue Jays crowd. Andrew, give the crowd a rating 1 to 10.
Crowd, oh, I give it like 11 or 12. That crowd was unbelievable.
Really? Okay, Andrew. I'm going to give them a 2, Andrew. And I'll tell you
A
why
2?
in the 7th inning.
They were loud the whole game.
I don't care, Andrew. I'll give them a 2, and I'll tell you why in the 7th inning. And here we are. We're in the
that's
7th
fair.
inning.
That's okay.
We're in the 7th inning, Andrew. Stroman comes out. Aaron Sanchez comes in, throwing 100, which was the most surprising thing of the game to me. I did not remember Aaron Sanchez throwing gas. Always thought of him. Always thought of him as a soft change-up kind of guy. Did not remember this. So he comes in. Donaldson, great play. I wrote great play by Donaldson in the 7th. I don't remember which play this was, but he made a great play. Just to let you guys know. So then, all hell breaks loose. I don't even know where to begin for this. The Rangers, let's see here. Odor starts the inning off with a single. Gets over with a sac bunt from Chris Jimenez, or Jimenez, as Hispanic people will say. And then Delano Shields, a quick 5-3 ground out. And then Sin-Soo Choo. At this point, Rugned's at third base. During the at-bat, Sin-Soo Choo does his thing, holds his bat out, moves his sleeves on. Russell Martin takes the ball, throws it. It hits Sin-Soo Choo in the hand. Rougned Odor scores from third. The umpire's waving off the play. Everyone's losing their mind. And then after a little conference, it's figured out that the ball was, in fact, still in play. Rougned Odor scores, and the Rangers take the lead on the weirdest postseason run ever. 3-2 Rangers.
Yeah, no, that you're not gonna find a weirder play than that, probably, to find a way to score a run. I mean, it was a new rule to me, honestly, too. I don't know about you, but I thought the play would be ruled dead because it kind of hit the batter, so I would have thought it'd been interference and made the play dead and just left alone. So I don't know if that was a rule to you, but it was to me.
I learned that too because I used to be a catcher, Andrew, and here's the thing. I'm a left-handed catcher, I guess. So I had a very awkward throw to third base. So whenever I had someone like a right-handed batter or whatever stand in front of me during those throws, I would just chunk it right at him. Hit him every single time. And I was like, if you didn't move, I'm going to hit you. I told every batter that if he steals and you're not moving, I'm going to hit you. So and I have hit people like that, and plays were in fact kept going. So, but that was on a steal. So new to me too. So there's my catcher experience too, Andrew. There you go.
I'm one of the rare left-handed catchers.
Yeah,
you see, you learn something new every day.
Here's another catching story. When I was like, I don't remember how old I was. I guess I was probably like in middle school. This is the height of Tim Thomas and the Bruins. I think this is right after they won their Stanley Cup. And I knew the umpires because one of my best friends, his brothers were the umpires. So I would just talk with them the whole game. And obviously, as a catcher, your main job basically is to protect the umpire. Fuck catching the ball. You're there to protect the umpire and get on his good side so you can get the good calls. So of course, I would chat him up, get the good calls, all that stuff, and I'd make him laugh because I'd be like, "I'm Tim Thomas." Blah, blah, blah. And whenever there was like a ball to my right hand, I would just throw my arm up like a pad and I would just eat a ball in the arm. Absolutely eat it. If I had a ball down to my left or something, I just throw my leg out like I'm blocking it like a hockey puck. It was good. It's very
That's
good.
funny.
Yeah, I was Tim Thomas. But back to the game, I guess. There, shout out to Tim Thomas, by the way. So Rangers score that weird run. It's 3-2. Fans start throwing things on the field. This is why I've labeled the Blue Jays fans as two. They start throwing things on the field, beer bottles and cans. They're just throwing shit. Everyone's angry. And the game gets delayed for about 20 minutes, which was really annoying. As a person just watching it, I was like, come on. The review took a while, but everyone was confused. You had to explain to the managers. But I was entertained because shit was hitting the fan, so.
You're right. You're right. I will deduct some points for that.
You should. You should maybe stay within the 10-point range I gave you with the fan. I don't know. If you deduct 2 points, you give him a 10. There you go.
They do it again later, so you know what? I'll give him a 7.
A 7. Wow. Maybe this needs to be one of our categories going forward. We need to rate the fan performance.
Yes, I actually like that. That will be.
All right. Mark it down, Andrew. Write it down now. You hear this, Andrew? You hear this?
I hear it.
That's the sound of a pen. You. Marking it down. We're calling it the fan rating, the stadium rating, the stadium atmosphere rating, something like that. Andrew's giving them a 7, and I'm giving them a 2. Wow. That is good stuff by Andrew. Andrew always in favor of rowdier crowds, probably from where you're from.
Absolutely, man. I mean, you gotta be loud, and you know, hey, we don't throw trash.
Okay, Andrew. Sure, whatever you say. All right, here comes the bottom of the 7th inning, which is the inning. It is the inning everyone really tunes into this game for. We start off with Elvis Andrus. I don't even know where to begin with Elvis Andrus. I like Elvis Andrus. He's from Venezuela as well. This was the biggest like baseball choke from one player I've ever seen. Like I've never seen one player just continually like just making mistakes again and again and again, and it cost him his team this much this quickly.
Yeah, I mean, especially for how good of a fielder he usually is. I mean, it was just there's no like I don't even know how to. You can't even like describe what happened because they weren't even like hard plays. They were routine plays that guy that Elvis would make 10 times out of 10. It was just very weird to see that happen to him.
So he starts off ground ball, the shortstop from Russell Martin, boots it, error number 1 from Elvis Andrus. Next, Kevin Pillar comes up, ground ball to Mitch Moreland at first, bad throw into the dirt. Elvis Andrus can't field it. Error on Mitch Moreland, so I'm not going to give that one on Andrus. 2 men on, no outs when you should have 2 outs already. How do you think Cole Hamels is feeling at this moment?
He's probably feeling obviously angry, but he's at this point. If you're a pitcher, you probably feel you got to throw perfect pitches from this point on, trying to strike guys out. So I mean, you probably try to locate too much and all that kind of stuff.
Yes, 9th batter Ryan Goins comes up. I don't remember if it was a bunt or not. But a squibber down to
Adrian. It was.
Okay, so it was a bunt down to Adrian Beltre. Makes another great defensive play. Flips it to Elvis Andrus, and Elvis Andrus literally just drops the ball. Another error. So that's his 2nd error of the inning. Basically, his 3rd fielding mistake. Now the bases are loaded. With no outs. And it's just crazy. That's 3 outs right there.
The only thing I can think of is it kind of looked like he was trying to make the double play instead of just taking the one out. It looked like he was trying to come up with it too fast and throw it before he kind of caught it. So I think that's where he kind of just got it in his own head, and obviously knowing what all the mistakes he made before that. But also, did you find it weird that they pitch ran for Martin after the at bat already started? Like, if we're gonna pitch run for him, just
like a John Gibbons was like, "Oh shit, I should probably pinch run him," and then they just throw him. I wonder how the pinch runner feels. He's just watching the at bat midway through. He's like, "Hey, go pitch run." I was like, "Oh shit, okay."
I wonder if he said something to him like, "Aren't I supposed to go in for?"
Hey, coach, shouldn't you put me in this game? He was like, "Oh, right."
Well,
go out there.
I was gonna ask you, like, I went back and watched that play a couple times because I was like, if that's Russell Martin running out there, I wonder if Elvis actually picks that ball up still in time to still get that out.
I definitely would agree. Like, or I would see it. Martin's not obviously he's a catcher. He's not a fast guy, and Pompey's out there for his speed. So I could definitely see that. That's big time right there by Gibbons, or whoever Pompey. Maybe he reminded him. Who knows? But I'll give credit to Gibbons for making the change. So as we continue, now the bases are loaded. Here's another question for you, Andrew. At this point, do you, as a manager, Brian Bannister or Jeff Bannister, do you go out there and have a mound meeting with all your infielders and everyone's just like guys, let's all calm down here. Elvis, especially you, let's just relax for a second.
Well, they couldn't because the coaching staff already went out after the second error when it was 1st and 2nd. So they couldn't go back out, or else they would have had to pull
Yeah,
Hamels.
yeah. Right. I forgot
So
about
I
that.
mean, as a team, I would have did that though. Absolutely. I mean, like Adrian Beltre as a captain, I think you got to kind of call him in.
Oh, did you
That's
see Adrian Beltre's face after Andrews dropped the ball?
yeah, I did.
Yeah, he was pissed.
He wanted
Even
no part of anybody.
he was like, God damn, man, what else do I have to do? This guy, I've been playing by beside this guy's forever. He's gone. And then after a fielder's choice, a 4-6 fielder's choice, from Ben Revere comes Donaldson. He gets a single. First
All
and
right,
third. Go ahead.
can I ask a question real quick?
Yeah.
What was your take on the Ben Revere play? Because it was a ground at the first, and then they go home with it, and they take out, and the runner takes out the catcher and doesn't allow him to double anybody off. And that was actually another big argument from
Yes.
Bannister to the ump. So I want to see your take on it.
I was fine with it. The announcer said they treat him just like a second baseman, like if you were turning a double play there. So it's basically the same play just with the catcher. So I didn't have a problem with it. He left his foot.
I didn't have a problem with that either. But I think if that's in today's game, I think they call that an out. I think they call it interference.
I wouldn't. Okay, fair enough. I wouldn't be surprised after the whole Chase Utley thing. What year is that? Or no?
That might have been this year, actually. Honestly,
I think it is this year because this is the Mets' good year, and he heard a Mets player, right?
yeah, because Mets
Tejada?
Royals World Series. Yeah, it probably was this year.
Yeah. So that's before the catcher. Those rules changed, but it is after Buster Posey getting his shit rocked and breaking his leg. I
Yeah.
never forget that. That was wild. That was the last big catcher collision. But yeah. So Donaldson singles, drives in a run, and sets up man on first and third. 6-3 ball game, or 3-3 ball game, and then 6-3. Jose Bautista comes up with, I'm going to go ahead and spoil it, the at bat of the game. Jose Bautista comes up, 3 pitches. Sam Dyson comes in for Hamels. Can't do it. Comes in for actually came in for Donaldson after the fielder's choice. Gave up the hit to Donaldson, and then Sam Dyson gives up the 3-run blast. Jose Bautista.
Which that in itself was an interesting decision, I thought, taking out Hamels. I know his pitch count was at like 113, but like he was getting ground ball after ground ball. I mean, if you think about it, I mean, not any of those were hard hits at all. He didn't seem tired out, and I get it. You had Donaldson. I mean, you had 2 big time right-handers coming up, but I mean, for the most part, Hamels kind of controlled the game. So I was a little surprised by that move to take him out.
I wasn't, just because like at some point it's like you got all these ground balls, but your pitch count is just way too high. We can't have this.
Yeah, that's fair. But that also
They don't have a bullpen either. The Rangers, they didn't have a bullpen. Sam Dyson was as good as they got.
Yeah. And then Dyson came in and kind of jammed Donaldson. I thought Odor could have caught that ball, honestly.
Yeah,
I think he misread it.
That single from Donaldson is a very weak single. That's your Luis Gonzalez single. Rugnet did not play that well at all. That was another fielding miscue. Thank you for reminding me. Another that's huge. That's the one that doesn't go unsaid. Now that gets you out of the inning. That gets you out of the inning right there. With that's Donaldson's third out. If he just turn around and run, Jose Bautista doesn't come up. It's 3-3.
Exactly, and who knows? But maybe we would have got another 14-inning game. Who knows what would have happened?
Exactly. Yeah. So then Jose Bautista comes up, 3 pitches, connects, destroys, obliterates a ball, 3-run home run, 6-3 ball game, and it's over. It's over at that point. Adrian Beltre at one point is literally sitting on the field because fans are throwing things again because Sam Dyson got a little butt hurt, and the bench is cleared again. But like after that, I saw in Beltre's face, he looked defeated. Everyone looked defeated. Sam Dyson was rattled. I was rattled. Like it was over. Like, how do you recover from that? The fans on top of you there, and they didn't even mention the bat flip until the 9th inning.
No, and I know I didn't catch it right away. Like, I mean, yeah, you saw how hard that ball was hit and how far it went, and you knew it was gone right away. But like, I remember I didn't see it right away. I think it took a little bit before it kind of blew up.
Yeah, it was a big social media creation, I guess. Social media really blew it up. They didn't mention it on the broadcast until the ninth inning. I actually have a quote from Harold Reynolds later about it. Uh, really, really like Sam Dyson, man. Might have had a good career in the majors, but he'll forever be linked to this game and that bat flip. The most
Absolutely. I mean, at least for non-Ranger fans. I mean, I don't know if he had any other good moments for them, but I mean, this is the moment that every fan will remember him for.
Yeah. Would you say this is the most legendary bat flip of all time? Because I do think so now.
Absolutely. I mean,
I don't
there
think Babe
there
Ruth was
there have been
batting.
some good ones.
I don't think Babe Ruth flipping his bat after him calling the shot or whatever.
No, I'm trying to remember what. I mean, I've only seen replays of it because obviously I wasn't born in 1993. I'm trying to remember Carter's when he hit the walk off against the Phillies. I'm trying to remember if he had a cool bat flip. I know he was excited, obviously going around the bases, but I can't remember if he did any kind of bat flip or anything.
Yeah, I feel you. I'm gonna go ahead and mark this down as the most legendary bat flip of all time. The pictures that came out of it were awesome. Um, the memes were great. Um, yeah, I think I can safely say this is the best bat flip of all time. Since we're on the topic of Jose Bautista, uh, I did not, or I guess just completely forgot off my head the most legendary punch of in all of baseball. Jose Bautista and Rougned Odor. These
Oh wait,
teams,
the
these
following year.
teams, yeah, these teams come back, and Jose Bautista gets his shit rocked by Venezuelan man Rougned Odor. Little bit of this drama on top of it. Rougned got out a lot of anger out on that punch. I bet you that felt really good to him.
Yeah, no, I'm sure it did. I mean, I'm sure that whole series they're just waiting for something that the slightest thing to just go wrong, so they could take something out on him.
It's tough. It's tough. So the aftermath of that home run, the announcers reiterate there were five dropped outs by the Rangers in that inning. He only saw three pitches. Jose Bautista did. Fouled the first one off, a ball low fastball at 98, and then he hit it to home run on another fastball at 97.
And
Really tough.
that was one of the things I was wondering. Why are you trying to challenge him with so many fastballs like that? That's the pitch I feel like Batista is most likely to catch up on.
I know, right? So Andrew, go ahead and tell us about the eighth inning.
See, this is where I thought the Rangers would kind of just fold over, pack it in after that, just because of all the emotions. But you got to give them credit. They tried to battle back. Fielder starts it off with a single, getting on board there, and then Belcher grounds out. But then Mitch Moreland works a good at bat and gets a walk. So then you bring up the tying run to the play with. Probably. Career wise, one of the better hitters for the Rangers, Josh Hamilton. I know he wasn't as good as he used to be at this point in his career, as it was obviously down at the end of his career. But still, I mean, a guy you'd probably trust in that situation. But he goes down swinging, and then Elvis comes up, has a chance to redeem himself after making all his fielding mistakes, and either tie the game, the game in one swing, or at least get him closer before that ninth inning. But in the end, he strikes out on 7 pitches from Roberto Ozuna.
Yeah, this is
And
Roberto Osuna's first game. This is he's the youngest player in the MLB right now. Roberto Osuna, 20 years old.
yeah, and I mean, again, I thought the Rangers were just gonna fold over and not get much going. But credit to them, they battled for a little bit there. I don't know if at any point in that inning you thought they were going to score or tie the game up.
Not even a little bit, Andrew. They were dead to me. They were dead. Like again, can't come back from that. But go ahead.
In the eighth inning, the Rangers bring in Jake Diekman to replace Sam Dyson, and Diekman throws a perfect inning, pretty easy inning for him. Only 9 pitches, threw 5 to the leadoff hitter on two fly balls to center field, and then eventually got the next Goins out on the first pitch on a pop out in foul territory, and then it took us to the ninth inning.
Very quiet ninth inning. The game had already reached its climax. Very short order. Rangers go down, and the Blue Jays advance to the ALCS, where they'd face the Royals, eventual World Series champion Royals. Andrew, just a quick note on Jose Bautista. This was his run of his peak, I guess. 2010, 20 through 2015, he'd made 6 straight All-Stars. These are his home run totals: 2015 or 2010, 54, 2011, 43, 2012, 27, 2013, 28, 2014, 35, 2015, 40. Dominance.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
That is incredible.
He put up 124 RBIs and 103, 104, 114, 103 in all those peak years right there. Also led the majors in walks twice. That year in 2015, 110, and 2011, 132.
I looked at his numbers when I was watching this game. I did not realize he started in 2004. Like that when I saw that was insane.
Old. He didn't hit his first home run until, let's see, he didn't hit his first home run until 2005 because he went from Toronto, Baltimore, the Royals, then he went to the Pirates, and then went back to Toronto.
Yeah, and I mean that
journeyman.
And actually, honestly, before this, I forgot he played for the Phillies before I looked at his numbers.
Yeah, Philly last team. Yeah. This was his peak. I think it took all of his baseball juice that he had left in his body to make this home run happen. Because from 2016, his home runs dipped dramatically. 22 home runs, 23 in 17, down to 13 in 2018. As he bopped around from the Braves to the Mets to the Phillies.
Yeah,
it's tough. It's tough.
Tough way to see him go out.
It is, but as we said earlier, he is going to try to play for the Dominican Republic Olympic team. He wants to be a pitcher, so I'm not going to say he can't do it. What do you think, Andrew?
I mean, he's an outfielder, so he's got to throw somewhat hard. So I'm interested to see what he can do, like how hard he can throw.
All right,
most outfielders can throw the ball in pretty good. So.
Yeah, Jackie Bradley Jr. can throw about 97 off the mound, apparently. Might need him in the bullpen. You know, the Red Sox might need him. So in the 9th inning, is the quote by Harold Reynolds that immortalizes this bat flip. He says, "Quote: That's one of the nastiest bat flips you'll ever see." So that sums it up very nicely. Andrew, how about we talk some awards and some categories?
Real quick, I thought the announcers did a great job this game. And I thought that the 7th inning call on the Bautista home run was fantastic.
Yes, we listened to it as we opened the show today. It was a good time. See, we're moving up in the world, Andrew, like I said.
Yep.
Moving up in the world. So let's get into the awards and categories. As you know, Andrew, and if you don't know, this is your first time listening to us, we have several awards and categories we'd like to go through at the end of talking at these games. First, we have goats and scapegoats. Obviously, goats in the new sense of greatest of all time, your standout performers from this game, Andrew.
I mean, I think obviously you got to go Jose Bautista.
Yes. This is his, in fact, GOAT moment, yes.
I think another GOAT moment, I mean, overall, doesn't do too much, but he goes 2 for 4. He bats 375 in the whole series. Chris Cabello, I mean, I think.
I also love how his name's Colabello, but you've just kept calling him Cabello. That's the affiliate coming out of you right there.
Thanks for correcting me at the end of the show.
No problem. I just wanted to leave that in. Good.
I think. Do you throw Aaron Sanchez in there for the win?
No, I don't.
You don't? Okay.
No. Aaron backed his way into that win. I throw Marcus Stroman in the GOATs because
I was going to get to him,
game. But yeah, Aaron didn't deserve it. But Marcus Stroman, yes. Anyone else, Andrew?
I think that's all I got.
Okay, I've got 2 more for you. Cole Hamels pitched a great game. It's not his fault that his team sucked. Only got 2 earned runs out of all that, I believe. So he pitched a great game. And I have, begrudgingly, I have Roberto Osuna. Came in, I think he got 5 outs, 4 strikeouts. Uh, this was at the point where it's like, is this the next Rivera? Is he going to be so good? Oh, and then he goes to the Astro and turns out to be a douche. So,
Facts.
scapegoats, Andrew.
Sam Dyson.
Sam Dyson, yes, very much.
I think you have to go with I think Josh Hamilton. I think he kind of came
Interesting.
up. I think he came up small, had a chance to tie the game up. He hits 167 in the series. I got to throw Hamilton in there.
Okay, not on my list, but fair enough. I guess I already considered him wash. So I didn't expect anything from him.
That's fair. I mean, he might have been washed up, but I still think he did stuff throughout the season where he could have had a moment there.
Definitely.
Offensively, I think you could go Josh Donaldson.
Okay.
But
Man,
obviously,
not on my list.
he made. What was it?
Not on my list.
Well, I mean, he made up for it defensively. He made a couple good defensive plays, but I mean, overall, again, in a game 5 like that, you expect the MVP to kind of come up big in that situation, but he struggled throughout the series. I know he's battling injury here and there, but comes up hitless in this game, and I think kind of could have came up bigger, and then I think he got to throw Troy Tulowitzki in there.
Okay. Any more scapegoats?
I think that's it because I mean a lot of the Rangers hitters got hits and they had chances, but
You're missing a big one. Go.
a big one.
Yeah, you're missing a big one. Go through your things again and tell me who you're missing. Come on, Andrew. You're missing a huge one. Sam Dyson, Troy
I said Sam
Tulowitzki,
Dyson. That's the big one to me.
Hamilton. Those three. Anyone else you're thinking of?
Blue Jays fans throwing trash on the field.
I do have Blue Jays fans. I do have them on my list. Yes, but that is not who I'm referring to.
Mitch Moreland.
Elvis Andrus.
Oh, that's fair.
That was like 3 errors. 3 errors blows the game. You had it. Rootin' Odor honestly should be on here too, but he had too good of an offensive game. I'm not going to do it. But Elvis Andrus. Now, who do you think of the two, Andrus and Sam Dyson? Who do you think deserves the most blame here?
Elvis, because if I can't believe I forgot him, but you have to say Elvis. I mean, if he just makes the plays, Sam Dyson doesn't even pitch in the 7th inning.
Wow. So Elvis Andrus, winner of the scapegoat, and Jose Bautista, a firm winner of the GOAT award.
Absolutely. I don't know how I forgot Elvis. That's hilarious.
Yeah, it is hilarious. At bat of the game, I think it's firmly Jose again.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, 3 pitches, but 3 of the most important pitches in there. Nastiest pitch. Andrew, do you have a nominee?
Honestly, I don't know. I don't know if I mean both pitchers dominated, but I felt like a lot of these plays were kind of more in play, and I couldn't really come up with a nastiest pitch in this one.
I gave it to Cole Hamels to JD Josh Donaldson in the 3rd inning. It was the first pitch of the at bat. If you're watching on the YouTube that we watch, it was minute 46:33 to minute 47:08. Threw a curveball. It was disgusting and made him look dumb, and he is the MVP. So shout out to Cole Hamels. All right, Andrew, my favorite award, the David Freese Apex Career Climax Award. Who are your nominees?
I mean, we're trying to break a broken record at this point, but you gotta say Jose Bautista again.
Of course, Jose. This in fact is his career climax. Everything from here is down.
And actually think about this. I think we missed one maybe for the go category. Edwin Encarnacion. He goes 2 for 2 in the game in RBI and got on base all 4 plate appearances
and got a home run. So
we'll take it. So we forgot him. We forgot him.
All right, fair enough. So any more nominees besides good old Joey Bats?
If he would have got the win, you could say Stroman, but I think the win takes that away from him. And I know it's still his biggest game probably at this point in his career, but I think I wouldn't put him in there because he doesn't get the win. So I think it's pretty much a lock for me for Bautista.
Well, I'll give you some nominees, and we can say yes or no. Yes or no. There could be more than one award winner. So, we're very nice about our awards.
That's fair. We're a generous group.
Yes. Roberto Osuna. Tough one. I'm going to say yes because everything from here is a downhill trajectory, except for money-wise. But everything
that's
from
fair.
here
He
is
strikes
bad.
out 4 out of 5 batters. Yeah, we'll give it to him.
We'll be nice. You're welcome, Roberto. This is the nicest thing anyone's ever done for him.
I don't like giving an award to a guy like that.
I don't either, but this was when he was 20, when he was a young buck and didn't know it better, I guess. The Blue Jays as a whole, they won a World Series, yes. But is this their, I guess, their modern day apex here?
Yeah, this is definitely their modern day apex.
So we'll say modern day Blue Jays. We'll even make it rhyme too. That's how good we are on this program.
That's all you. I'll give you all that credit.
Josh Donaldson, his MVP year.
For the season, yes, but I would say no, just because we're talking about the game itself. I wouldn't.
Fair enough. David Price. Is David Price the best bench cheerleader out there? Almost got ejected. Someone did get ejected. They didn't say who until like the 8th inning. It was Mark Burley, apparently, who was on this team. Completely forgot about that. But David Price, I'm going to say no, but I wanted to just mention him. He did win a World Series and probably should have won an MVP in the World Series. So,
well, that's your boy, so I'll let you get that one.
And my last one is in baseball in Canada as a whole. Was baseball ever more popular in Canada than here?
I don't know the Expos days well enough, but I'd say in that moment, no. I mean, the crowd reacted in obviously a big way, and then even them, throwing the stuff on the field, it just shows how big it was to them at that time. So I'd say it's the biggest moment.
Any more nominees, Andrew? We have a bunch of award recipients. We'll be sending them their awards in the mail. I hope they get them soon.
In the mail, right?
Yes. Jose Bautista will be getting a bronze-plated statue of a goat. Elvis, you will be receiving a T-shirt. So
what about? I guess he didn't do anything offensively, but you mentioned a couple of his defensive plays. What about like a guy like Kevin Pillar? He hasn't done much in his career, like as a whole. So maybe he goes that's 333 for the series. I know this game again he didn't get a hit, but he kind of saved the Blue Jays in different ways.
I'm gonna say no. Simply because I was gonna say, wasn't he with the Giants? I thought he won a World Series with the Giants, but I guess not. I'm gonna say no, because I'm looking at his stats right now. In 20, this is the beginning of his career, Andrew. In 2019, he was 22nd on the MVP ballot. So, yeah, there's my answer for you. 2019 is his peak. Yeah. Hey,
I would have never guessed he was that high in MVP.
22nd, Andrew. 22nd. You want to guess who else was on that list for MVP? He was tied with Max Scherzer at 22nd.
Wow, how times have changed.
And 20th on that list of NL MVP. This is 2019, Andrew. Times have not changed. This is last year. Colton Wong.
I thought you were talking about. I thought you were talking. Okay, you're right.
No, this is it. This is it right here. Man, Max Scherzer and Kevin Pillar, MVP 22nd. That's pretty tight. Andrew, do you have any final thoughts?
Well, quick. Well, that does show that the times have changed. Max Scherzer went from like a top 5 MVP candidate every year to 20, down to 20. And
arguably best year of his career this year.
This past season?
Yeah, he won the World Series.
Well, if you go,
there you go. Yeah,
for accolades, but if you're going personal season, it wasn't his best year.
Hey, man, people care about the rings. That's all people care about, Andrew. They care about the rings, and he's got his ring, so now he can just chill. Now he can firmly say, I'm just as good as Clayton Kershaw and all this stuff.
Exactly. Sure. Whatever you say.
Thanks. By the way, Max Scherzer has been an all-star 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 straight years. He's thrown over 200 innings in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of those 7 years. So
He's
he's pretty good.
yeah, I'd say maybe a little bit.
All right. Well, any final thoughts on the Rangers choking the Blue Jays, winning this, but ending up losing 4-2 to the Royals, and the Royals ending up beating up the Mets this year to win the World Series. Ultimately, kind of a meaningless game, but remembered forever for this bat flip.
Absolutely. I mean, I think it gave us the bat flip. Ultimately, the like you said, the Rangers should have won the series, and they probably could have gave that Royals team a pretty good series, if not won the series. I mean, especially with the veterans they had in their lineup, I would have liked the Rangers' chances. So I think, I mean, I can't imagine being a fan in that situation, but I give credit to the Blue Jays for battling through all that stuff, and they pulled it out.
I'm impressed. This is I can't remember what they did in 2016. I'm gonna look it up while we speak. But this might have been the apex for the Blue Jays modern era. This team, this Donaldson, Jose Bautista team. Uh and this is kind of the perfect way for them. Yeah, this is definitely it. I think this is definitely the career like apex for the Blue Jays like roster right here. All Donaldson and Bautista and Edwin, they all come together. They're all hitting home runs. They're all almost hit 40, by the way, in this season. Donaldson hit 41. Edwin had 39. He's the only one that didn't have 40. Uh, but they'd lose to the Indians the next year. They lost to the Royals this next year. They never won anything really besides some ALEs. So this is it right here. This is the Blue Jays apex. Shout out to Jose Bautista. Follows everyone on Twitter. I appreciate that.
Including me. Yeah,
Yeah, of
appreciate
course.
that.
Yeah, follows me on Twitter too. Shout out to him. You know, he knows where to go for his baseball takes. And it's kind of sad to see how he is now, but I hope I get to see him on the Olympic roster for the Dominican Republic. That will be fun to watch.
It's pretty funny how fast the Blue Jays like dropped off the map after this.
And this is the new era is coming, Andrew. They've dropped off the map, but the new era is coming.
Okay.
The Boba.
They won what, like 65 games last year?
Andrew, if you want to talk down to Vladdy Jr. and Bo Bichette and Kevin Biggio and Ryu, if you want to talk down on them, you go ahead. I'm a Red Sox fan. I very much like this Blue Jays team, but we're not going to play baseball this year, so nothing matters.
Yeah, don't remind me.
Yeah, it sucks. We're not. Are you firmly? By the way, let's just quick aside before we head out, because we have to talk about Sam's quote too at the end of this. Do you think baseball is going to be played this year at any point?
I think when it's all said and done, I think it's going to be no baseball.
Yeah, I don't think.
I think by the time it all clears up, I think it's going to be too late. You only get about a month, maybe two of a season, and I don't think the players are going to want to play into December, January because
no, it'd be impossible. The weather wouldn't allow it, especially in a place like Colorado. They've said that their date is July 1st. If they're not playing by July 1st, then we should probably expect the season to be canceled. So I'm going to go ahead and say it is. So Andrew, I'm going to go ahead and say that the Red Sox have an opportunity to pull off the greatest trade in Red Sox history, Andrew. They have the opportunity. So all of the players and everyone is going to have basically it's going to be like an injury year for everyone. A year service time is going to accrue. 1 year contracts are going to go to free agents. So Mookie Betts is not going to play in a Dodgers uniform this year, which means the Red Sox could re-sign him.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't want to be a Debbie Downer, but the reason why you trade him is because you can't afford him. So
well, they couldn't afford him because of the salary, the tax the limits or whatever, the luxury tax. They want to pay it now that they're under for the year. You know.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. But wish the best for it. I'd rather them in the AL than the NL, so I don't have to face
them. Right there. So. I hope so, Andrew. Well, do you have a quote from our friend Samwise Ganji, aka the Rangers fan in our group, the Houston fan? He takes a lot of hits. The Rangers, they've blown these two games that we talked about, the World Series and now this one. The Texans stink and they can't hold on to their star players. They're going to trade Watson eventually. So give me some Sam quotes because he sent us a lengthy paragraph.
Yeah, I think one of the big things that stuck out to me is he said, the bat flip isn't what the bat flip on a scale 1 to 10 is a 13. He loves bat flips. That is paraphrasing. It's not the exact quote,
Yeah,
but I
because
think
I think there's some expletives in this.
there were, but not in this line. But he goes, if there ever was a time to do a bat flip, it was in that moment. So it's not that, but it's the fact of how much he had to deal with it on social media and how much it blew up. He had to see it nonstop, and it makes his blood boil every time. Is that is the exact key, but it makes my blood boil every time because he has to see it unsuspectingly, and I think it just, I can't imagine. Can you imagine being in that situation? You got to deal with that the rest of life, really, because it's never not on social media.
Yeah, it's tough. It would be like if like social media was in like Vogue in like 2003 and I had to see the Aaron Boone home run repeatedly, or if I had to see Bill Buckner's error just repeatedly on social media every day. It would not be a fun time. What would your Jose Bautista bat flip be for Sam's thing? What would you hate to see on social media that would remind you of that? Would it be the Kawhi shot?
It is the Kawhi shot because I see it all the time. I don't see
Oh
it to I don't see
man!
it to the degree of this bat flip, but I see it a good handful of times.
How many times do you think you see it a day?
See what a
How many?
day?
Yeah, a day. Like once a day, twice a day.
Well, I mean, you sent it to me how many times?
I said it to you frequently. I said it. I said it to you a little bit. I just want to send you a reminder, like every once in a while. Hey Andrew, don't forget this happened recently.
Yeah, no, you do a good job to make sure I remember that because it's fun. Sixers Celtics hate.
I send
So
you the Villanova clip too. So
the,
I give
the
and I
Villan-
take.
which Villanova clip?
You fucking running out of your room, the Chris Jenkins shot.
Oh, I posted that on Twitter. So
Yeah, well, it's legendary. I
which,
watch it at least once a day.
But shout out to Chris Jenkins because I know he's listening, but he retweeted that, so I thank him for that.
Oh, really? No, okay.
Yeah.
Chris Jenkins, friend of the program. Hey, Andrew, you know what you should do? You should slide into Chris Jenkins' DMs and be like, "Hey, Chris, you like baseball? You seem like you love baseball. Just come on the show." You know what, Andrew? For you and for Chris Jenkins, I would love to do the Pub Sports Radio baseball show remix into the Pub Sports Radio basketball show, so we could talk to Chris Jenkins about that game.
Oh, that'd be cool if we actually found a way to interview him about that shot. That'd be amazing.
Hey, all he has to Andrew slide into his DMs. Chris Jenkins, I know you listen to the program already, but Andrew's gonna slide into your DMs.
I wish he did, but
he does, Andrew. He does. You're gonna slide into his DMs. You're like, hey Chris, as you know, big fan of Villanova. I do this show. We talk about baseball. Would love to talk about basketball. Would love to break down the game. I know you're not doing anything because of the quarantine, the coronavirus. So just give us a ring. Now your time. Let's hang out, Chris.
Yeah,
I know Ryan.
You're right.
Too.
You're right. I should.
Good buddy Ryan Archidiacono.
Yeah. I got his autograph.
Good. Yeah, you're best friends with him.
Yeah, of course. Best friends with everybody.
Good. Yeah. Well, Andrew.
But hey, I got one more for you. I do like this one from Sam. He goes. We talked about the punch earlier, so we're going to the next year when he gets in the fight. He goes, and it made it so much sweeter when Odor got his revenge and knocked the rest of Jose's career out of him with that punch. The punch heard around the world.
I don't think it offsets it. I don't think it offsets it at all. I think that a bat flip overweighs the punch.
And shout out to Sam because he did text me. He turned it on when he got done work, so he was listening. So shout out to Sam for going through these emotions again with us and listening.
Reopened the scab. I'm glad. I'm glad. I hope we reopened the scab for you, Sam. I'm sorry we had to do it this way, but don't worry. We've already discussed future games that we're going to talk about that are going to definitely hurt us. Speaking of future games, Andrew, before we end, let's talk about the next week's game.
Hey, it's your team, so you wanna go into it?
Yeah, of course. This is I don't know if this is my favorite Red Sox game that I've ever watched live or the one I really love watching, but it's definitely in my top 5 or top 3. They were going to talk about Game 5 of the 2018 ALCS, aka the greatest catch in Red Sox history when my baby boy grew up. Andrew Benintendi, aka Benny Butt Cheeks, aka Benny Biceps, makes the greatest play and eliminates the cheating Astros to send the Red Sox to a World Series. The greatest Red Sox team of all time, as we discussed. I'm excited,
Yeah, no,
Andrew.
it was fun. If you're a Red Sox fan, it was a great team.
Did you watch that game, by the way? Did I
Yeah,
text you? Let's say where did I? Who I don't know who else I talked to, but I was watching the game and I remember. I don't know if my girlfriend has videos of me during that, but I'll give her an ask.
hey, we need to get people to just videotape us from whatever game we're
Yeah.
watching. Then eventually we need to make a collage of our reactions.
Andrew, if I could tell you the amount of times I've told Sam to record you during games and I have not gotten a video, then Sam would look like a bad person. I'm gonna slander Sam at the end of this. I've asked him several times to record you, and I've yet to get a video.
Well, hey, he's listening, so maybe he'll text us in our group message.
I hope he does. All right, Andrew. Well, we'll see you guys next week. I'm excited to see it. Thursday, Friday, Tuesday. Who knows when we'll be here, but we'll be here next week. See you guys next week.
It starts with one thing. I don't know why.